Hey everybody, Sean here, Boosted Miata. Today we are unboxing this. This is a Dasaita Android head unit. It is a big head unit. Well, it's a double DIN, which is, big, but what's big is the screen. So come on, let's check it out. So this thing has a ginormous, well, fairly large screen, not ginormous. Ginormous would probably be 13 inches. This one has about a 10-inch screen, which is about 3 inches bigger than the one I have in the car now. But what's cool about it, let's pop it open here, do a little unboxing. So what's cool about it is the screen itself sticks out from the double DIN unit, and it's directional. So I can go ahead and direct it toward me. I could also, I believe it's rotatable, which means I could theoretically rotate it like that versus like this. So yeah, pretty cool. Well, I decided to go ahead and just unbox everything and spread it all out, and I want to go over some of the details of this Dasaita head unit, Android head unit. But first, what I want to do is really quickly, I'm not a nerdy kind of tech guy on this stuff. I think what I will do is just kind of give you the rundown on what this head unit features. This is right off the website. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description below, but just to cover it really quickly, this features a TDA 7850 audio chip, which is rated on the website at 50 watts per channel. But in reality, I think people have tested this and it's more around 20 watts per channel, which is still pretty good. It's got a built-in digital signal processor, which makes this a pretty nice sounding head unit. And I'm really looking forward to getting it hooked up. I'm gonna hook it up to my, when I bench test this, I'm gonna hook it up to my stereo, and we're gonna get a better idea of how it sounds. It features a PX6 core Rockchip, which is pretty quick. It has Android 9, which is Pi, which is probably the latest version of Android that you can get on any head unit at the moment. The 10s are just starting to hit the market, but I think this is still one of the most recent ones. It's got a built-in a micro SD slot that is on the head unit itself right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's right in there. And it's kind of, you do have to kind of tilt this over and push that in to access it. So it actually comes with a 16 gigabyte micro SD chip comes with it. And that's where I would put you could put maps in there, offline maps, but that's where I'm gonna store my music that I like to have offline music, so I don't have to worry about being connected just to listen to music on my head unit. So let's kind of go over all the connectors. We'll start with the audio connectors. It's got audio in connectors here. We've got two video camera in connectors there, and we got a left and right channel in. Here you've got your in and outs. So you got some additional, let's see, an additional video. This, I believe, is a video in. Let's take a look. Yeah, so this is a camera in, an additional camera in. So you got 3 camera ins. You've got your speaker connectors there. These are your audio out channels. That's right and left. So it does have a mid and a sub out. So you can really, for you sound quality guys, I think you can really get some decent sound through this. In addition to that, we have the Wi-Fi antenna. This uses a screw-on coaxial connector, which is nice because that's what my current head unit uses, which means I can just plug in my current Wi-Fi antenna into that, which is nice because the one I have is actually a lot better than this one. What else do I have here that has that connector? Oh, the GPS antenna also features that screw-on coaxial connector, and that's nice because that's what I have in my car, and I won't have to reroute my GPS antenna because I run it under the dash. This also has a cool looking, actually looks like a little mouse. It's this cool looking little microphone I may actually use this because I think it looks cool and it's got adhesive on there, and I think I got a good place for that. And I think by the design, it looks like it'll work pretty nicely. So I'm probably going to use that. And then you have the USB dongles. So this one is a single, and I believe this is the fast charging dongle, USB dongle that they want you designed for you to use with your phones. So that's this one, and then this is a double USB dongle that is for data. So you could connect SSD drive, USB drive to this. These are the ones I'll be using to hook up to my car computer so I can feature everything on my head unit, get it all displayed properly. Now we're into the power harnesses. It has two here. This one looks like it's a Nissan. It's called a Nissan low power cable. I'm not sure why it came with this one. This is interesting. It's got an interesting antenna connection here, an adapter. This is the end that goes into the head unit. So if you were doing a custom setup, you probably would use this one and just snip it and wire it into your car. I'm actually going to use this ISO adapter. This is an ISO power cable adapter. I'm going to use this one with some additional ISO connectors that I purchased separately. And this will allow me to hook these up into the Boosted Miata and keep those in there permanently, because right now it's kind of a rat's nest, because every time I change the head unit, I'm cutting cables and rewiring because it never had an original harness. Whoever had the car before me really made a mess of it, and I never really cleaned it up. But now I think I'm going to take advantage of this installation and put in these ISO connectors, so when I do get another head unit in the future, I can use the ISO connector that will come with it, if it has it, and it should. And then also you have these adapter plates. These are the plates that allow you to adapt it to your mount in your car. And then of course you've got the operator manual. This isn't really an installation manual. It does have some specs in the back and some troubleshooting, but it's mainly operational stuff. Speaking of operational stuff, what I'd like to do is go ahead and get this thing hooked up to a power supply, and let's just get this turned on and see what it's like. Oh, and of course, I didn't talk about the screen itself, which is kind of the main feature of this thing. This screen is a 1024 by 600 resolution non-HD screen, and I'm not really bothered by that. I know there are some HD screens now on the market, but I think the idea behind a big screen like this, and let me measure it really quick just to confirm that it is 10 inches. Yeah, so it measures diagonally about 10 inches across. So maybe a little bit more than 10 inches. So that is as advertised. And the advantage of a 1024 by 600 is that it's not so much the HD, it's not so much the resolution, but it's the size of the icons. Because you can get nice big icons on here, you can really take advantage of the large real estate, and it makes it easier just to, first of all, see things on the screen, which is, you know, with my eyes getting older and older every year, it's just nicer on the eyes, easier on the eyes. And the other thing is it allows you to have nice big icons, so you can manipulate the head unit easily without struggling to touch a button when you're driving around. So one of the really cool features about this head unit is the screen that is mounted on this ball joint, which allows you to be able to angle the screen like so, angle it side to side, angle it up and down. It looks like there's maybe 20 to 30 degrees of angle that you can get out of it. Not so much up, but you can certainly go down. The other thing you can do is rotate it so you can actually use it in a portrait mode, like so. Pretty cool. And the advantage for me in the Boosted Miata is because I use my screen for my computer in the car, and I use it to monitor the functions in the car like air fuel ratio and boost and temp and all that, having a nice large screen is really going to be helpful for me. I currently do that with my current head unit and it works fine, but sometimes it's a struggle because the head unit is, the screens are only so large. But this is going to be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get this hooked up and see what it's all about. Okay, let's fire it up. Look at that, it's got the Mazda logo already ready to go. I wonder how that got on there. All right, so here we go. Pretty cool. It booted up actually pretty quick. It took about maybe 20 seconds or so from a cold boot to get to this screen here. But to be honest with you, I have been playing with it a little bit since I did turn it on. I'm going to show you some of the things I've done. Let me go ahead and turn off the overhead light here so you can see the screen a little better without the reflection. But this is kind of the default OS on here. It's pretty nice actually. These icons are pretty big and look pretty usable. The scrolling function is really smooth and nice. I really like it. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, I probably don't need to use a separate car launcher, which is an OS, to make this more functional for a car with larger icons. This is actually pretty good. This is better than anything I've seen. Certainly better than the stock Toto OS that I had on that I currently have in the Boosted Miata. What I'm going to show you is I did install a car launcher, and I'll throw that up, this one here. So this is a car launcher that I currently run in the Boosted Miata on my Toto. And you can see here, it actually looks pretty good on this screen. Everything's pretty large, pretty visible. But I actually like the stock one a little bit better than this, to be honest with you. Let me just exit this. There we go. Yeah, I think I like this one better, because everything's big and it's easy to scroll. It's pretty quick. I like it. I like it a lot. I have another car launcher by Agama that I haven't really set up. I just have it on here. I did put the Mazda logo in there. And again, I like this one too, but I'm not sure I like it enough where I would use it over the stock one. I did customize this a little bit. You can see that I put a media player right there. That's custom. And you can see on the left here you have controls for the DSP. This is your equalizer. You have your settings control right there. So these are always present on the home screen. And then this display here, this LED display on the left, by default this is turned off. You can go into the settings and turn this on and also change the color. So I change it to red to match the color of my instrument panel in the Boosted Miata. So let's go into the settings a little bit and we'll just kind of go through them a little more detail. So of course you have your network and internet. You can select your Wi-Fi network you want to go on. It shows you your data usage over Wi-Fi. It actually has a hotspot and tethering feature. So if you want to use this as a hotspot, you can. If you, for instance, had a dongle, a 3G or 4G dongle, it has Airplay mode, has VPN, It has advanced DNS settings. Again, you have full access to pretty much all the Android systems. It doesn't really lock you out of anything, which is nice. It has Bluetooth connectivity here. Again, you have apps and notifications. So you can go in and uninstall apps here. You can control app permissions here, which is pretty cool. Not all Android head units allow you to do that. And we have the display here, and again, we already covered that, but it pretty much is brightness, wallpaper, font, and nighttime display. You have sound, so it allows you to turn the sound off if you have a key tone, which is pressing the screen. It gives you volume control, gives you notification sounds, gives you alarm sounds. You can do screenshots. Well, that's cool. And then it shows you storage control. And what else we got in here? Security and location. We can do a screen lock. These are your accounts. Accessibility. Car driving. Let's see. Wow. Oh boy. Okay, so this is the panel light. So this is these lights here. You can control with this here. It's called, I guess it's called Elements, which is an interesting name. Okay, steering wheel keys, so you can assign your steering wheel buttons. I don't have that because I don't have steering wheel buttons on. I don't have CAN bus, and I don't have steering wheel buttons on the Boosted Miata. But if I did, you could assign button controls here. You can control the amp, which is, again, this has a digital DSP, digital signal processor. You can control it from here. You can also control it from the side. It has built-in navigation, and I believe you can use this to customize the built-in navigation, which I won't ever be using because it looks pretty horrible. It has driving settings, watching video allowed, notifications. Interesting. Okay. Extra settings, shutdown delay when, oh, okay, so this you can control when the car is turned off. How long does the head unit wait before it completely shuts down? It's set to 5 minutes here. If you set this to, you know, anything, well, let's see, it only allows you to go up to an hour, but this could affect your battery life. So if you have a low battery, or if your battery tends to run out, you may want to set this differently. Oh, okay. Interesting. So this is a little toggle here to play music automatically when you insert a USB or SD card. Reversing mirror. So it shows you I guess your reverse camera will make it show like a mirror. Reversing volume off. So I guess that is to control whether or not you get audio as you're reversing. You have a built-in rear view ruler, so if your rear view camera doesn't have a built-in ruler, you can use the one here. Battery voltage display. This will actually show up in the top of the head unit. It'll actually show, check it out, it'll show the battery of your vehicle. So I'm using a power supply that's 13.8, which is exactly what this should be on my power supply. I'll just leave that on for now. What else do we got here? Were those extras? Yes. Okay. We'll go back down to factory settings, and you'll be prompted for a code. It's 126. Done. Okay. And this gives you access to the developer settings, right? And you can see here you have all these other little tabs that have access to different things. So we have things I'm not sure really what they do, so I'm not going to change them. This is under app. It has BT, that may be Bluetooth, radio, yes, I guess that's to turn the radio chip on, DVR, USB and CVBS, not sure what that is, but I'm not going to mess with it. DVD, no, it doesn't have a DVD player, makes sense. TV, I'm not sure what that does. Oh, TPS, that's, what is that? That is probably has to do with the pressure monitoring system. I'm not going to mess with that. So clearly there are things in here you probably don't want to mess with. But car logo, why not? You can select the car logo. They have built-in logos here. I'm not sure why that would be hidden away under developer settings, but it is. Radio, you can select what region you are. I'm in America 1. Voice, not sure what this is. Oh, okay, so this probably controls volume level. Not sure. I have to look into that. CAN bus doesn't apply to me. Key study. Interesting. Okay. Must have something to do with setting the keys. Other. Okay, so this is interesting. So you have radio RDS is on. Auto search, 20 dB. Brightness adjust. Okay. So this is interesting. Brightness adjust. Enable controlled by headlamp. You can disable that. So there's no adjustment by headlamp. In other words, if you enable it, it allows your headlights to adjust the brightness of the screen. So I'm going to enable that. Switch to front camera after reverse. That's interesting. So front camera's on. Switch to front camera after reverse, which is interesting. I wonder if that will always stay on. So I guess after you do a reverse camera and it's done, then it will switch to the front camera so you can see what's in front of you. Interesting. I'll have to play with that. App install, that's enabled, so that's so you can install non-Play Store apps. Steering wheel key assign, I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so panel LED type. Let's see here. Okay, I'm not going to mess with that. Okay, so it's RGB LED. I'm just going to leave that. Panel LED control by power. So what that means is when the head unit is on, I believe when there's power to the head unit, these come on. But you can also set it when it comes on. It can come on with a headlight or headlight and power. But I just have it on all the time by power. I think default is they only come on with the headlights. Default power status on. I'm not sure what that does. Customer version, not sure what that does. Reversing brightness. I guess you can change the brightness of the screen when you're reversing. Or maybe it has to do with the overlay. Not sure. Boot default volume, no. Knob mode, not sure what that does. Prohibit reverse. Prohibit reverse, I'm not sure what that does. It's enabled, but I'm not sure what that does. Amp volume, I guess that's the how much you want to have your amp set the volume by default. Currently it's at 0 dB. CarPlay, yes. Obviously we want CarPlay. Three-way calling, yes. I guess you can do three-way calling. You can set the car battery voltage, which is 12 volt, which is standard. But if you had a 6 volt vehicle, I guess you could change that as well. And that's it under factory settings. So some really cool stuff in here. So now what I want to do, I think, is go ahead and get this hooked up to the Boosted Miata so you can see what it looks like when I actually use it. All right, I got the Boosted Miata fired up over here in the garage. It kind of stinks. It's kind of loud. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So what I'm going to do is the megasquirt ECU in the Boosted Miata uses a USB connector to connect to my head unit. So that's what I'm going to plug in right now. Go ahead and plug that in. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that out. And it's already asking me allow shadow dash, which is one of my monitoring systems. So I'm going to hit OK, and it should fire it up. OK. There it goes. And there we go. So I have several different programs that allow me to monitor the ECU. This is Shadow Dash, which is made by the same company that makes the tuning software I use, this is pretty good. It allows me to take logs and save logs and things like that, which I like. There's also MS Droid. The nice thing about MS Droid, this one actually allows you to do some tuning on the vehicle. the cool thing about this software is I can actually tune from the head unit itself. I can actually go through and tune, and this looks great because it's nice and big, easy to see. I really like this. I like this a lot. So that's my second one. Yes, I want to exit that. And then the one I really like, it's called Real Dash because the UI is just beautiful. And this is, I think this is a Ferrari dashboard I currently have on here. So check this one out. It's pretty cool. Okay. And that's pretty slick, man. This is really slick. I really like this one. And this looks great, nice and big, full screen. I can't tune from it, but I do have all my critical data. I got my boost, I've got my temperature, I got my AFR. I even have, I can control music from here. It's got, what else I got on here? It's got spark and voltage. It's got a GPS. It's pretty cool. So this is pretty cool. The temperature doesn't look right. I'm not sure why that is, but the rest of it looks pretty cool. So that's great. So I know that my computer in my car is talking to this head unit and everything seems to be working pretty good. I like it a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and exit that. I'm gonna turn this car off because it's putting a lot of exhaust in the garage and I'm kind of getting a headache. I did want to mention, you see this Z-Link icon here? That allows you to connect to your phone. So it has Android Auto and it has Apple CarPlay built into it. I can show that for you now. So you do need to make sure you're using the correct dongle for your phone. It has a particular socket that it needs to go into. And there it is. So there is one particular dongle. It'll tell you if you're not in the correct one, obviously. And boom, there we are. We are in Apple CarPlay. Very cool. So there it is. It does have Apple CarPlay. It works great. Now, the question is, does the wireless Apple CarPlay work? So let me try that. Look, Mom, no wires. So it does work with wireless CarPlay as well. Pretty quick, pretty nice. Let's go ahead and open up Waze. There you go. Apple Music, I don't have any. Let's open up my Spotify, see if that works. Very cool. Yeah. So very cool. What do I think so far? I really like this thing. I can't wait to get it in the Boosted Miata. It's got a great screen. It's quick. It works with all my megasquirt programs and it works well. It's got Apple CarPlay wired and wirelessly plus Android Auto. You have access to all the Android settings, which is really rare on an Android head unit. I mean, I think it's just a really nice unit. We'll find out more once I get it installed in the car and after I run it for a while, but so far, so good. I really like it. And if you guys are thinking of getting a head unit, I would seriously consider this one. It's really packed with features. It's got three camera inputs. It's got HDMI. It's got an HDMI out, which is really cool. You can run an HDMI monitor. So if you wanted to run a headset monitor in the back for people to see, or if you wanted to maybe make a heads-up display, that's what I'm thinking of using it for, maybe in the Boosted Miata. All sorts of potential with this one, which is fantastic, which I really am excited about. So I can't wait to get it in the car, and I'll make another video about that pretty soon. But yeah, really, really like it. So let me know what you guys think. Make a comment down below. If you have any questions about it, let me know. That'll do it for this video, guys. I appreciate you taking the time to check it out. Look for more videos to come. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.